And she had one major goal that all her efforts were put into these days, owning her own home that she built with her own hands. To that end, she worked 2 jobs, part-time at the local health spa in the evenings and all day on Saturdays, where she kept herself in good shape while doing the same for others, regulating diets and exercise programs. Her full-time job through the week was with Arbor Construction. Sunday was her only day off, and the only chance she had to take care of the normal activities of her life, like writing her family, balancing the checkbook, bill payments, house cleaning, laundry, shopping, repairing her car, etc. It was also the only day she had to simply relax, and preferred to spend that free time catching up on her sleep or working on designing her dream house, not working on a relationship. The 2 jobs gave her next to no time for socializing, which was why she had stopped trying, until she met Thomas Johnson. She had tried seeing the same man more than once, every Sunday actually, tried it with more than a few men thanks to her roommate's persistence, but that never worked out well, because they soon resented that she wasn't available more often. She'd been waiting until after she had her house. She could quit the second job, then have the same free time that everyone else enjoyed. Then would be soon enough to start looking for a serious relationship. Tom had changed her mind about that. She had begun to think she'd never find the right man for her, but Thomas Johnson filled the bill beyond her expectations. He was 6'6", so he met her major criteria, but he was also exceptionally handsome and an established executive in advertising. She was blue-collar, he was white, but they still found common ground. He might make her feel self-conscious occasionally, but that was too minor a thing to counter her belief that he was the one for her. Stubborn certainty might better describe it, but then she was Irish. Actually, her last name might give testament to that, but her family were Americans to the core. Her grandfather Callaghan had owned a farm in Kansas that he built from scratch, and that her father inherited when he died. This is where she and her 3 brothers grew up. None of the Irish part of their history had been preserved, if anything was known about it, because her grandfather had been orphaned too young to have learned any of it. But their first names, well, it wasn't hard to guess that her parents had been a bit flaky when they'd started having children. They denied being part of the hippie generation, called themselves free-spirited, whatever that meant. And in fact, they had met while hiking across country and had gone off to see the world together. They were hitchhiking through England when the first child came along and had been so impressed with that country that their sons got named York, Kent, and Devon, in that order. As the only girl, who showed up last, Brittany got named after the entire country. Her parents took offense when it was pointed out that Brittany was actually a province in France and not the shortened version of Great Britain. Brittany had a no-nonsense attitude about life. You lived it, and eventually you might even enjoy living it. That was actually a joke, or meant to be, yet it wasn't that far off the mark on her own life. She actually liked her jobs, got a lot of satisfaction out of them. She just missed having the time to do all the little things in life that everyone else took for granted. But then she was no stranger to hard work and having little time for simple pleasures. Growing up on a farm, you went to school and came home to endless chores. She hadn't had much free time then, and when she left home, even less. She had made time for Tom, though. They'd been dating for 4 months now, went out every Saturday night, spent every Sunday together. As a busy executive who often worked late into the evenings during the week, his time was also somewhat restricted, so he never complained that he couldn't see her more often, was probably relieved that she had no such complaints either. He hadn't mentioned marriage yet, but she didn't doubt that he would soon, and her answer was going to be yes, which was why she had finally made the decision to give up her virginity to him. It was an odd thing to still have at her age, odd enough that it caused a good deal of embarrassment if she was forced to own up to it. That usually only happened when whoever she'd been dating started putting the pressure on to have sex, but the result of her confession would always be the same: laughter on their part, or disbelief. Tom didn't know. He merely thought she was being cautious. It was more than that. Heavy necking was fine, could be fun or incredibly frustrating, but going all the way required more than just liking, at least for her. She needed feelings first, strong feelings.